Hey headphone people, got another classic here for you, a review of a headphone that has been pretty desirable for quite a while, and that is the Fostex X00 Purple Hearts from Drop. So let's take a quick look at the build of this headphone, and we'll talk about how they sound and if they're still relevant in the headphone landscape today. So these guys are a beautiful headphone. You guys know I'm a sucker for wood headphones, and these are just they're beautiful. The purple is, I mean, it's gonna be hard for it to be caught on camera here to where it's decently justified, but it is just really nice. I mean, just looks super cool. The purple tinted wood here, like I really get a kick out of it, and I think they just look great. So you'll notice, I mean, the first thing you're gonna notice here, besides the purple cups, is it does have the attached cable. That's the version that I've got here, and I don't particularly like the cable, not because it's bad quality or anything like that, but because it's super long. So I think this is maybe like an 8-10 foot cable on this. It's I got the 1/4 inch termination on mine. You know, it's a nice thick cloth cable. It feels really good. It doesn't tangle on you. There's just too much of it. If it was 4 feet shorter, it'd be a great cable. Okay, but for me, it's a little bit too much in my opinion. Now, the rest of the build, you know, we've got leather pleather pads, which are fine. It's metal kind of bands and yokes here. Metal as far as like the extensions here, and this feels just really smooth and clicky, and just it feels really nice. You know, more pleather or leather, I'm not sure which it is, probably pleather on the headband here. Not a ton of padding, but it still is quite comfortable on here, and it just is a handsome looking headphone. I mean, it's simple, but you know, the purple cups really make it pop, and I really like the design and build of these things. I think it feels really good. You can see there's a healthy amount of articulation, so you can get it, you know, you can get it to fit on your head well. So I think the actual like structure of them is fine. My biggest complaint with them build wise, besides the cable, is just the shape of the pads. While they do look pretty big and they're pretty cushy, you can see the actual diameter of them is quite small, and so it is kind of touching my ears on all sides, and I don't really like that, and I do develop some hot spots. So I don't find them super comfortable because of that. I imagine with some proper pad swapping, you could correct this. The pad system is pretty nice because it does have this plastic ring that kind of just slides in, so you can get other pads on these. Any large kind of diameter round pads will fit on them, and I did play around with some pad swapping, but I never found any pads that I thought sounded as good as the stock pads. I actually even specifically bought some Dakoni pads, but I did not like the way those sounded at all. They were the velour pads. I just got a good deal on open box, but I also tried like some ZMF leather pads and stuff like that, and I never found any pads that I thought sounded as good as the stock pads. So I don't know what to tell you on that. I mean, I definitely wasn't a fan of just the way they touched my ears, but again, if you really loved these headphones, I think you could probably find something that would work for you. So design is good, build is good. I wish the cable was shorter. I wish the pads were just circular in shape and just had a little bit more opening on the inside of them. How do they sound? I can sum these up pretty quickly, I think, sound-wise. These are like a Basshead Audiophile headphone, okay? So these are, they still retain a lot of audiophile qualities as far as just like clarity and a decent sense of space, and, you know, well-controlled highs and a natural sounding timbre to them. They have all those qualities, but with a lot of bass. And the bass is fun It's still textured. It's not like, it doesn't bleed too terribly much into the rest of the frequencies, but it's just so much is there that for me they come off like a bit unbalanced personally. It is also kind of an amp dependent headphone. So I was listening to it on some solid state stuff like the Mojo 2, and on the solid state stuff I thought the bass came off even more intense, and I thought the highs really came off quite sharp and intense on solid state. What my favorite by far pairing was with these headphones was my Feliks Audio Echo, the Generation 1 version of that. And I thought with the stock tubes that amp comes with, I thought it did a nice job of taming the bass a little bit so it wasn't so overblown, but it also really eased up the highs and made it just a really just natural, smooth presentation, but with still a lot of energy in the bass department. So I personally liked it like by far the best on tubes. I don't think this headphone is really for me because the bass is so much, and I'm just not a bass head, so it doesn't really fit my niche. But I think if that is the type of headphone you want, and you want a close back and you don't mind the pads, or if you don't mind doing some pad rolling to see if you can find it, I think I would definitely take a look at this. The one thing that I feel like is sacrificed by this headphone that comes in conjunction with that big bass is I just don't feel like it images or has a great separation. Like, so it not to say that it's terrible imaging wise, but just it's more in the separation category where things, especially when it gets busy, can kind of bleed together a little bit, and it just doesn't retain, just the super clarity and separation that some other headphones do. So in that regard, I think that's probably the weakest point sound wise with this if you want the bassy response. Okay. It by no means is an unenjoyable headphone. I really had quite a good time listening to this. It's just not something that I would see myself reaching for a whole lot, and so I will pass it on down the road. But I do think they are a beautiful, well-designed headphone, and I think for a lot of people that are looking for like a good audiophile bass head headphone, I think these are definitely still worth a shot. Okay, I think they're still definitely worth checking out. I would just personally try to get one with a detachable cable, so that would give you a little more flexibility in that regard. And then again, I think you're going to have to maybe do some pad swapping to find something that's a little bit more comfortable, unless you don't mind pads sitting on your ears or you have really small ears, then it might be okay. I think that's going to do it for the X00 Purple Hearts. Cool headphone, glad I had a chance to try it, just not for me. So what's your experience with these guys? Drop those down below. I actually own an EMU Teak a while back too, which is kind of in the same realm as these Fostex, biocellulose closed big bassy headphones. I think this one actually is a little bit nicer than that one that I owned, even though that one had removable cables. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple other versions of these, but they're probably all worth a look if you're looking for a bassy closed-back audiophile headphone. And with that, I'm gonna leave it there. So thanks for watching. Definitely check out some other reviews if you want to, and drop some comments down below. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one.